Hello again. What you see before you, I believe, is a PlayStation portal for the game Lego. I don't have a PlayStation, so I don't know how we're going to test this, if I can get it fixed. I want to say thank you to George for sending me this. Apparently he stood on the cable and broke it. Oh dear, George. So this is the USB plug, this end, and by the looks of things that should go in there like so, but he's broken it. I've got two ideas about this. One idea is to cut into this outer sheath here, this rubber sheath, and try and solder it back on again, but I've got a feeling that's not going to work. If we look down the end, if I can get it focused, it looks like there's quite a bit of plastic in there, and I wonder that if I try and solder anything, it's just going to melt the plastic. So what I'm inclined to do, we just put that somewhere safe at the moment. What I'm inclined to do is to see if we can get the back off this and replace the cable. The actual connections, there's only 4 on the USB plug. There we go. So you've got power and you've got data pins, that's all. So I should be able to replace it with a normal USB cable. I mean, I've got loads in my drawer above the desk. I've had a quick look online to see what these are called. I thought it might be called a base plate or a figure plate. You put a figure on top of here, and then that's apparently in the game what you play. So there must be some sort of RIDF, what you call it, those chips anyway, sensor in this, or underneath it. It looks like there's a light as well. And then when you put the figure on here, you play as that character within the game. I think it's called a portal or a plate or something like that. Anyway, for your information, it's one of them. There we go. So I'm going to see how we can get into this. How do we get into this? Where's my spudger disappeared to? My spudger has gone walkers. There it is. Right, I'm going to wonder, I'm just wondering if it's screwed in underneath these feet. So, well, probably is. Yeah, it feels quite tight, that. So I'm going to guess that we need to look underneath these feet. Might have to replace these feet with other feet. And no, there is no screw under there, so apologies, I just ruined a foot for no reason. Money. Oh, that's not it. Blue. It's blue. Right, I see. Oh, I see some cuts in there. So this is clipped into place by the looks of things. I'm just wondering if there's a screw underneath here. It feels like there is. No, there isn't. There is a hole just there. That's what I was feeling. But that is not a screw. So there is no screw under there. Right, let's put that back. Okay, so let's carry on popping the sides out. Right, that went with a bang, but let's have a look, see what we've got. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 cables going in there. 1, 2, 3, there's definitely 5 cables going in there. So, yes, I'm going to have to do what I didn't want to do and have a look at this end. And it looks like there's no markings on the board, but it looks like there's 2 ground cables over to the left hand side, then the data cables, and then the plus 5 volt on the right hand side. That's what I'm going to guess there is. Right, I've got my multimeter in continuity mode. Let's have a quick look. Are those 2 connected? No, they're not connected. Okay. So it's a couple of days later and I found this image on the internet which tells me that one of the cables on the back here, one of the black cables, is a signal cable as well as a ground. But according to this image, the 2 are connected, but according to when I turn it out, they're not. So I'm going to guess there's a crossover or something on the actual plug in this end, but because this is not connected to it, it's not showing the short, so therefore it's not connected. So it looks like I am going to have to take this off. I was hoping to just replace the cable here with a normal USB cable, which is 4 wires, but because this is 5 wires, obviously there's something else going on in here. I can guess, but I don't want to guess because I don't want to damage the PlayStation when I plug it in. So I'm sorry to say, but I'm going to have to cut into this and have a look to see what's going on. Right, as I suspected, it looks like the two wires, the black wire is, let me just zoom in a bit, show you, there we go. So the black wire is there, and attached to it just here, looks like it's the other blue cable, the other black cable, sorry. And then around it you've got the other cables, the red cable. So let me just, let's chop that off. Do you know, I think it's actually slightly different. I think what you've got here, within this aluminium cover here, you've got the four main cables, which is the red one, the white one, green one and black one. They're your USB cables. And then I think this one here, because you've got an odd cable here, goes to the case, or it might be the outside, might be the inside. Still can't exactly know. Right, I think we better tone this out to see which goes where, to double check. Okay, right, sorry, you couldn't see that. I was just pulling the wires apart. There's the four main cables, but you've got this other cable here. So let me see if I can work out where everything goes. Right, so what I'm going to do is put my meter into continuity mode. I'm going to put one of the crocodile clips on the end there, and the other one will attach to a wire. In this case it's the white wire, and then we can test the white wire on the board itself, which is the second one in. Yep, so that worked okay. That one's correct. And we'll go for the red wire, which is the end one. Yep. And then data. And then one of the black ones, which is that one there. So I reckon that's your normal, sorry you can't see, so that one there, so that's your black, your red, your white and your green, so that's your normal USB cables. And then that one, that wire by itself, is the other cable, which is connected to the silver, the earthen sort of wire. So I think them two are connected together like so. I could be completely wrong, of course. Which is connected to the outside of here. Right, okay, yes, I've just spotted something. Let me zoom in and show you. Okay, here we go. So if I zoom in on this plug, right, can you see here, just there is a blob of solder. Okay, there's a blob of solder there. So that's why I think you've got your four cables, your four normal ones, which is your power, your data and your ground, and then one on the edge there. Right, okay. Now I've got that sorted out. How am I going to do it? Right, back in a minute. Right, after having a look online several times, checking, double checking, triple checking, I'm going to wire it the following way. I'll put a couple of pictures up on the screen at the end of the video to show you the images that I've found. So we've got 4 pins. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, and we know that number 1, which is the far one from you, is VCC, so that's your plus 5 volts. Then the next one is data minus, next one is data plus, that one is ground. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to do a slight change to what I said originally. I'm going to attach this cable, which is the sense cable. I'm going to attach that to the ground cable here, which is the black one. The shield will go onto the case itself. And then I've got the red cable, which is here. So that's going to be pin 1. The white cable, which is here, which is data minus, data negative. The green cable, which is this one here, is going to be data plus, and as I said, the black cable is going to be data ground. So I'm going to attempt to solder those onto there, and I'll attach the sense cable to the ground cable here. What I'm also going to do is I've got some heat shrink here, so if I look at the shroud that I've cut off, that heat shrink goes on there nicely. So if I put that over here first of all, I can heat shrink that on there later on to hold that in place. And then this heat shrink here goes round there. It's tight, but it goes on all right, so I can put that on there. Now, having looking at this, I'm going to guess it only needs to go in just a little bit. That's what that sort of plastic stuff was for. I might, if I can, I might stick a bit of hot glue in there as well, just to hold it in place. But I'm going to guess, looking at the marks on it, I can't put it in too far. So it's got to stick out about so much to go into the PlayStation. So that's what I'm going to do. And then when I get that done, I can put this back together again. And then I found out that my grandson has got a PlayStation, one of these, so then I can take it round to their house and test it on their PlayStation before I hand it back. Right, that's what we're going to do. So I'll do a very quick soldering job. You don't need to sit and watch me. I'll fast forward the video. You can listen to a bit of music if you want to watch it, and I'll put a countdown as to when it's done. Okay, right, that's the next job. Right, hopefully my camera won't go blurred. It took me a couple of minutes just to get the camera to focus on that. So what I'm going to do before I do anything else now is I've got to check to make sure there's no shorts. Now I do know there is one short, which is obvious, which is the case to the cable there. Let's turn my multimeter on, that might help. So case to there, yes, that's correct. Case to ground, that's correct. Make sure we don't get any other pins, that's okay. So we know that that ground and that's connected. Make sure that the plus and minus on the data are not, which they are not, and the positive to the data cables are not either. So that's okay. So there's no shorts on that, thank goodness. Phew, right, okay. So what I'll do now is I will carefully put the cover back on, and then hopefully we can test it. Right, that's that back together again. You can just see on the edges here where I've damaged it slightly trying to prise it open, but that's not too bad. That's all together now. Wires in okay at the back, that's nice and solid. So it's just this, and now when I've plugged this in and I've put the heat shrink around it, it's still a bit loose. But what I'm going to do first, I need to test this, make sure it works. If it does, then I might cut this off and put a load of hot glue inside, then reseal it again just to be absolutely sure. But first things first, we need to get this tested. Well, as you saw, the testing went well. However, I'm still not very happy with the end of here. Although it's got this shrink round it, it's still a bit wobbly. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to very carefully just remove this again from here. And as you can see, it's not stuck down particularly well, but what I'm going to do is peel this back, and I'm going to stick some glue in there to hold it in place. I'm going to use my favourite UV glue because it sticks really quickly. I mean, you get it everywhere, but it sticks really quickly. So I'm going to stick a bit of that down there. Saw. Push that back in place. Bring a bit more on. Right, and what I need now is a UV light. So let's just get rid of that. Again, hide that to one side. This is my UV light that I've got. I'll just clamp it to the edge of the desk. And I'll point it right down there, like so. If I turn there we go. So you can see now that that is going to glue that. And it goes off really quickly because of the UV. Hopefully my fingers won't stick to it. Have I got something that would? Yes, I have. Just take that off a second. Just watch your eyes. There we go. Right, let me just clamp that up together. Like that, there we go. And what I'll do is I will leave that for a couple of minutes, then I'll turn it over and I'll put the UV on the other side as well. And hopefully that'll stick. So come back to me in a minute.
A few moments later.
Right, that's been on for a couple of minutes now, so that should be nice and toasty. I've turned it over a couple of times, just like doing toast. And hopefully that should be nice and stuck now. In fact, it is stuck extremely well. So I'm going to put another bit of this heat shrink over, if I can, he says, trying to get it back over the plastic that I've just put on. Okay, so there we go. That is one repaired USB plug for the PlayStation Lego portal thing. Hope you enjoyed watching me suffer and fix that. Thanks to George for standing on it in the first place. If you like what I do, please subscribe. There's a link down below. And don't forget, I'm not sponsored or anything like that. If you like what I do, please buy me a coffee, because all this talking is making my throat dry. Thanks very much for watching. Join me again for another exciting video. Oh, and there's some pictures and another video at the end as well. Thanks for watching.